You know what I think the #1 problem in America is?
You didn't hear my question.
I'm answering your question.
You don't like
I'll answer it my way. The #1 problem in America, in my view, is failure to take responsibility.
Thank you for the speech.
That's my position.
No, but you haven't answered my question.
And I'm encouraging people to take responsiponsibility for their actions, and I think adults who get pregnant, there's no reason for an adult to get pregnant.
And I'm encouraging you to take responsibility for my question.
Yeah. I look a little bit younger there.
Who was that?
That, of course, was the great Phil Donahue, and one of my early TV appearances, Mr.
You look like you just made your first communion.
Oh, I deserve that. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, you can't remember that show. I mean, you did, what, 6,000 shows?
I did. I'm Cal Ripken, or at least, you know, that's what I claim to be.
Well, first of all, welcome back to the program. Because we can't debate the war, and I want to get into all the details of your documentary, I want to ask you this as a broader question. In the last century of humanity, we lost between 130 and 180 million souls. And I wrote a whole book about Deliver Us from Evil, defeating terrorism, despotism, and liberalism. I'm proud it was #1 in the New York Times, Mr. Donahue. But the question is, what are we to do with fascism, communism, totalitarianism, Nazism, now terrorism? Don't we have to be at war with those that will kill innocents, as we saw in the last century?
Sean, this is a massive blunder. And what you appear to be saying to me is, hey, we lost all those people. Hey, listen, a war happens. That is cynicism that is lethal. That is the attitude that gets us into these wars. That 6 minutes to get in, and what, 60 years to get out? I mean, Sean, even you.
Even me.
Really, I see you as a very reasonable guy. We have to, all of us, look in the mirror and say, what have we done here? Are you willing to send more people, throw them on the sword for this mistake that has cost us economically? People can't find a good job. The dollar's falling against the euro. Barrels of oil through the roof. People are going to lose their homes. We owe the world everything, and you're saying we gotta, because they might, Iran, we can't. We go to war for what we think people will do, not for what they do.
Can I answer you? Because I asked you a philosophical question trying to avoid Iraq, because there's a broader question, and I want you to.
Well,
I want because you're a liberal. Liberals care about human rights and human souls,
they sure do.
And gender and race.
And the United States Constitution is what we care about.
Well, so do conservatives.
Well, why was the Iraq War resolution unconstitutional, and why didn't you speak up? Let me ask my question,
because it wasn't, and it was the right thing to do. But if you look at Pol Pot and the killing fields, if you look at Nazi Germany, if you look at Stalin's Russia, totalitarianism, 130 million souls. Phil Donahue, we have images of children in the north in Iraq that were gassed by Saddam Hussein, and to assume that it wouldn't happen again is naive on a level that ought not even be discussed after 9/11. You forget? Do you want me to put up the images of those kids dead from weapons of mass destruction?
And so that's why we have, by the way, 10 Americans died in Iraq the last 2 days. 10 Americans. Mothers are going to look out the window, probably happening right now, as the 2 uniformed officers come up that front walk.
It's horrible.
And they faint.
Horrible.
But boy, the laptop bombers, who would never think of sending their own sons or daughters to this war, can't wait to send more.
Senator McCain's son went.
Senator McCain is the exception, and my hat is off to him. A rare exception.
By the way, I don't think we did stop totalitarianism in Iraq. We didn't stop the fighting. We didn't stop the bloodshed.
Good, thank you.
Because that continues to go on in Iraq day after day. Well, let me ask you about...
Well, I need you to go around with me. I'm getting all this income here.
Let me ask you about Thomas Young. Let me ask you about this film. Who is Thomas Young?
Thomas Young is a 20-something Heartland kid, Kansas City, signed up 9/13, wanted to go get the evildoers, saw the president on the pile. He's at Fort Hood in training, and why am I going to Iraq? His light bulb went on right away. Too late, he's in, he goes to Iraq, 5 days. The bullet comes down here, exits the T4 part of his spine. He is paralyzed from the nipples down. 25 years, he was 24 when he was hit. Paralyzed, he can't walk, he can't cough.
He was in unarmored vehicle.
There was no top on a truck. You know, 26 guys in the back of the truck. They could hardly move, and they were fish in a barrel. Main Street, Solder City.
Finds himself in Solder City thinking, I'm going to enlist. This is his patriotism speaking.
Right.
I want to go into Afghanistan after the terrorist camp.
That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go get bin Laden. He wanted to go to Afghanistan. And now people are saying, well, you signed up. You volunteered. And he volunteered to go to Afghanistan, not to Iraq. Iraq is Bush's war. They thought they were going to have a merry little war. You can tell that stunt
we have
on the
Donald
aircraft
Rumsfeld
carrier.
saying we'll be in and out in 6 months or less.
Mean, really.
Well, let me
and we
ask
have
you
people out there. Sean wants to keep
he went
going
in
here.
You say he went in as one kind of patriot and came out as another kind of patriot.
That's a very good way to put it.
What does that mean?
He's a warrior turned anti-warrior. He's a warrior who realizes that, first of all, you shouldn't shush a nation when a president decides he's going to go to war. If we ever need the First Amendment, we need it then. We have people honestly believing that if a president calls a war, you have to shut up and sing. That is not the nation my mother raised me to pledge my allegiance to. We should speak out. That's when we need it the most. And by the way, I'm almost finished. If we sent thousands of Americans to foreign battlefields to protect our way of life, which includes free speech. If we're not going to use it when we need it the most, stop wasting their blood. Don't send any more. If you're not going to use it, it's already lost. We'll find a Mussolini who'll tell us what's good for us.